Gareth Southgate has announced his 33-man England provisional squad for the European 2024 Championships over in Germany. There's 2 friendlies for England before then, but shall we take a look at the squad that I predicted just a few days ago over on my channel? If you have not checked that video out, make sure you do go over and check it out. I've only missed a couple of players, and there's only a few players who didn't get in the squad who I expected. Now, I did not account for 33 men. I only did the 26. So that is something which is unaccounted for in that prediction. But let's now take a look at the players I predicted and who Gareth Southgate ended up going with. So here is the squad I predicted. The players in green are all selected for Gareth Southgate's 33-man provisional squad. The ones in red have not been selected. So we'll start off with the goalkeepers. I think he's got it spot on with Pickford, Ramsdale and Henderson. Nick Pope still struggling with a little bit of an injury. And there's not really many other brilliant goalkeeping options that are English. Obviously, we'll get into the full selected squad in just a moment, where we'll pick up on a 4th goalkeeper who has been selected for the pre-Euro training camp. It will probably be a toss-up between Henderson and that other goalkeeper for that final 3rd place on the plane as a keeper. We look at the back 3, Stones, Maguire, Walker all in. Colwill doesn't make it. Guy and Branthwaite also make it into the squad. I think decent decisions. If you have not done so already, make sure you do hit that subscribe button down below. We're trying really hard to hit 700 subscribers, and I know that you can help me do it. If you do want to stay tuned for all the European Championship content coming to this channel over the next few weeks and months, make sure you do hit that subscribe button down below or in this top corner. And I'll let you now get back to the video. Unsure on the decision with Colwill. We'll get into why when we look at the selected squad. Left back Luke Shaw has been chosen despite not playing for God knows how long. Ben Chilwell has not been selected after an injury hit and poor season in all honesty. And on the right hand side you do have Trippier, Trent, who have both been selected, and Reece James, who hasn't been selected by Gareth Southgate. You look at the 4 men that I've selected in the middle, and all 4 of them have been picked ahead of the European Championships. Completely the right decision for me. 33-man squad gives Kobbie Mainoo the opportunity to impress beforehand. There's another shocking name who is on this list that has been selected for the 33-man provisional squad. We'll get into that obviously in just a moment. Then obviously your front 3, obviously I've selected 8 players here with Kane and Watkins as the number 9s, and then the 2 sets of wide players as Foden, Saka, Palmer, Gordon, Grealish and Eze. All of them all got into the squad. Missing 3 out of the 26. I'm not going to beat myself up too much about that. I think I predicted a fairly decent squad. You'll have to let me know your thoughts down in the comments. But shall we now get into the squad selected by Gareth Southgate? Here we have all 33 players selected by Gareth Southgate. There's some shocking ones in there and some really good decisions in my opinion. And we will start off again with the goalkeeper. So you start off with Pickford, Henderson, Ramsdale, and the 4th goalkeeper on the list is James Trafford from Burnley. They've obviously just been relegated, so complete honesty, I don't think he should go. I do understand he is England's under-21s goalkeeper, or was England's under-21s goalkeeper. So it'll be a good experience for him to be within this squad up until the Euros to see how they prepare and things like that. And maybe even be on standby depending on potential injuries. But for me, I don't think he should be in the squad. I think Dean Henderson's been excellent for Crystal Palace over the second half of the season. I really think that's probably the reason why he's in this squad. Obviously with the Nick Pope injury, I do think Dean Henderson will be the 2nd choice keeper if Pickford gets injured. Obviously with Ramsdale not really playing, it's hard to judge where he should be in these standings. So for me, goalkeepers wise, I'd keep Pickford, Henderson and Ramsdale, and I'd send Trafford home after the provisional period is up. Then your back 3, obviously when you're looking at this chart, don't sort of think it's in who should play where order or anything like that, because I know these players can move about and we don't even have to play a back 3, but these are just my predictions. So on the left, Stones, Konsa and Quansah. Obviously Ezri Konsa has played at right back for Aston Villa at times this season, so him being on the left, it's just sort of where I put him. It's nothing sort of, I think he should play left centre back, so don't put that in your mind. Obviously, then you've got through the middle Maguire and Guéhi, and then Dunk and Braithwaite. I'm not entirely convinced on Lewis Dunk. I know he's had some good seasons with Brighton recently, but I don't necessarily think he's good enough to be about if we're going to win a European Championships, which ultimately should be the aim for Gareth Southgate. I think Braithwaite has been a really good addition to the England squad. Hopefully he does get a chance to play in the friendlies and isn't cut ahead of Euro 2024, because I do think he should be in the squad. Mark Guéhi, excellent part of the squad in my opinion, part of that Crystal Palace resurgence squad, if that's how you want to put it. I think he's done really well recently for Crystal Palace. And then you look at the other three. Stones is a no-brainer. Maguire is a no-brainer. Konsa is one of those who can play across multiple positions. So will he get cut? I'm not entirely sure. I think what you have to look at with these 26-man squads is you do need versatility within it, and Konsa does add that. Now, Quansah from Liverpool, he's been absolutely magnificent for Liverpool, especially the second half of the season, where he seems to have really broke into that centre-half pairing with Virgil van Dijk, and I do think he's been fairly good. Do I think he's ready for European Championships? Probably not. I do think he'll be one of two cut within those centre-half positions. We then go on to take a look at right wing-back, where Gareth Southgate has selected Kyle Walker and Kieran Trippier. There is also Trent Alexander-Arnold, but he was labelled as a midfielder in the squad announcement. So it will be interesting to see how Southgate does utilise Trent Alexander-Arnold. Obviously, it'll all depend on formations and systems and things like that. Do I think we're going to play this 3-4-3? With the players we've picked, I'd probably say no. But this is the formation that we've played in previous tournaments and things like that. Hence why I've stuck with it. Obviously, you've got Kieran Trippier, who can play both right and left. You've got Walker, who can play in centre-half. That's one of the reasons why I think two of those 8, 9, 7 centre-halves I think will be sent home. And then on left back, you've got Luke Shaw and Joe Gomez. Obviously, Gomez can play at centre-half, right back and left back. But the only proper left back in the squad is Luke Shaw, which I think is quite questionable when you've arguably taken 4 right backs, really, because Konsa's played at right back. Well, you've probably taken 5 right backs then, really, because you've got Konsa, Gomez, Trent, Walker and Trippier, who can all play out there. So be interesting to see how that goes. I don't think any of the fullbacks will be cut. I don't think there's enough of them, to be completely honest. Then if you look into the midfield, we have 7 players. 2 names who, well, one name who I didn't think would be anywhere near it is Curtis Jones. Fairly decent season with Liverpool, but he's never really been their first choice. He's played normally as a result of injuries and things like that, and I do think he's a good player and probably has something to offer, but I don't think he'll be making the 26-man squad. You've then got Adam Wharton, who since joining Crystal Palace has gone from strength to strength. A little bit like Kobbie Mainoo, has really hit the ground running, making his debut in the Premier League. And will he make the 26-man squad? I think it's going to be interesting to see. But they're 2 players who have probably earned their shot at the England first team, but probably not yet ready to be in and around it. I think Wharton could be decent, but it'll be interesting to see how Southgate goes with it. Obviously, you've then got Kobbie Mainoo, who's been mega impressive since getting his chance at Manchester United. And then you've got Trent and Gallagher. I think Conor Gallagher has been excellent for Chelsea this season. Obviously, only looking at being sold as a result of profit and sustainability rules. And then you've got Trent, who I'm not sure about him playing in midfield. But I'm also not sure about him playing at right back either. So it's a toss of the coin between him. Bellingham and Rice are like mainstays, not going to be taken out of the team anytime soon. We all know how good they are. We've all seen how well Jude Bellingham's done for Real Madrid this season. We've seen how well Declan Rice has done in his new role at Arsenal. So it's mega important that those players are in and not injured heading into the European Championships. Then we've got the three strikers selected who we're going to look at of Kane, Watkins and Toney. Obviously, I didn't pick Toney, but I think it's really a toss of a coin between those two. I think Watkins is the better player in my opinion, but I think Toney is sort of penalty specialist, and sometimes that is what you need. But it'll be interesting to see if we take all three of them. Obviously, that is a possibility. You've then got the 8 options for those wide positions or number 10 role as well. Obviously, you've got the likes of Maddison, Palmer, Foden, who can all play centrally. Obviously, Palmer and Foden can also play out wide. Bellingham can play centrally as well. You've also then got the likes of Saka, Gordon, Eze, Bowen and Grealish, who are sort of mainstay wingers. I think it's mega important that we do get Grealish within this squad. His ability to carry the ball and win free kicks and fouls all over the pitch and set pieces and stuff like that, I think he's mega important to the squad. Do I think he should be a starter? Probably not, but definitely someone you can bring on later in the game. I think really between the likes of Gordon, Bowen and Eze, I think it's going to be really interesting to see who gets into the squad. You can maybe add Maddison into that as well, because obviously we've got to cut 7 players from this 33-man roster. If you take out James Trafford, 2 of the centre-halves, maybe 2 midfielders and a forward, so you can probably take... Of those forwards, you can probably take 7 of them. I do think he'll probably take 3 strikers. But I think you've got to get rid of 2 of the centre-halves. You've probably got to get rid of 2 or 3 of the midfielders. So it will be interesting to see how Gareth Southgate does eventually put this squad out just before the European Championships. Who he takes, who he doesn't. Will be interesting to see how they get on within the friendlies as well. Because obviously there's 2 friendlies coming up, I think June 3rd and June 7th, so they're going to be mega interesting to keep the eyes on, just to see how Gareth Southgate sets up. This squad chart will be over on my Twitter. It is on screen right now, Lewis_Everett11 over on Twitter. Make sure you do go and give me a follow. I will answer any questions or anything. Don't hesitate to message, respond to things I post and things like that. I always try and reply. So that is the squad prediction and the team selected by Gareth Southgate, the depth chart of the available players that he's picked. Obviously, we've got 2 friendlies heading into the European Championships. I will be previewing and reviewing those friendlies, so do make sure you stay tuned to the channel by hitting that subscribe button to make sure you're around for when those videos come out. It's going to be a mega interesting summer. Obviously, daily football for pretty much the first 15 days of the tournament. Then when you get into the knockout rounds, it's going to be interesting to see how it's going to go for England. Obviously, we've got a lot of talented players, especially in those forward areas. But one thing we're not blessed with is really good defenders, really. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this one goes. I'm really intrigued to see how Southgate cuts the squad. Is he going to do it after friendly 1, after friendly 2? It will be interesting to see, because obviously it's important that we prepare the players in the best possible way. So let me know your thoughts on the squad down in the comment section. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and like this video, as it really does help the channel. We're trying to hit 700 subscribers by the end of the Euros. Do you think you can help me do that? I do think you can. So do hit that red button. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next video. Make sure to go and find me on TikTok, pictured here, and Twitter, pictured here. These are the places where I'll keep you all up to date with all my upcoming videos and my thoughts and feelings around the Formula 1 and football weekend.